यार तो बिल्डिंग के वैसे बैठे सीधे जी
मैं तो
व्यू
और
ताड़े
बहुत सही। मैं तो खुद बिल्डिंग के अंदर ऊंचे ही लैंड
Head toward this point.
No, no, no. By mistake, look.
अगर उधर मेन बिल्डिंग तो वहाँ जितना होता
Man, मैंने बेडरूम शूटिंग ना बहुत इरिटेटिंग लगती है कि कमरा खाली बोली जा रहा
वो वाला है कहीं
है ये
कई बार लुट भी जिवें बकवास निकलती बिल्डिंग कई बार होता है
ये मूरली बिल्डिंग च बंदे आए हुन अपने कोल होवे टॉमी आप हुन तो गांधी मिर्जा जाके देखदे पै जो भी एक एम चेक के खड़ा हुंदा आज वजह
ये ऐसा ही होता है यार
अच्छा यूजी ले लो
यार कर दे मैं तो सारी वो भी नहीं मिली है तक
बाहर शुरू होता है दिक्कत आ गई
नहीं तो हम जो ऑनलाइन अपना स्ट्रीम कर रहे हैं
हाँ
I got
आप अपने आप
supplies.
में भी स्ट्रीम कर रहे हैं
हाँ
वीडियो क्या
वीडियो कैम निकाल जी वो 10K थे वो
PS
बाय कर सकते
फिर तो फोन तो ही आंदा सीधा
नहीं फिर मैं फोन ਤੇ ਜੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਨਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਸਟ੍ਰੀਮ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਹੈਲੋ ਮੇਰੀ ਜਾਨ ਅਮਨ ਭਾਈ ਕੈਸੇ ਹੋ ਬ్రో ਇਦਾਂ ਯਾਰ ਫੋਨ ਤੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਉਹ ਕਲੈਰਿਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਸੀ ਅਲਕਾਡੋ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਕਲੈਰਿਟੀ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਸਟ੍ਰੀਮਰ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਣ ਦਾ ਵੀ
दैट्स
ਨਹੀਂ
ट्रू
ਮਜ਼ਾ ਉਹ ਮਜ਼ਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਣਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਜੇ ਤਾਂ ਅਲਕਾਡੋ ਹੋਵੇ ਫਿਰ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛੀ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈ ਰਾਈਟ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਬਈ ਤੂੰ ਵੀ ਸਟ੍ਰੀਮ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੀ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਜੇ ਅਗਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਮਜ਼ਾ ਆਵੇ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ
ओह
इसने मुझे तक स्टैंडर्ड मार्क कर दी चल मिल गया
एक्सटेंडेड में करा दे
Marked a location. I got supplies.
अबे नहीं सेट करना पहले
اعتقد كده مفيش صوت.
sports and professional sports at every level, but like everyone, we're frustrated at the moment with not much live sport going on, and that really was the genesis for the birth of One Play esports. We started with some great FIFA competitions. We've now pointed ahead of esports in Jassel Parak, who's doing a great job of building up the brand. So many tournaments to get excited about, not just FIFA, but other genres as well. We've got a big schools tournament coming up, Nitin, for our friends watching in Singapore.
Yeah, we actually just got done with the Mobile Legends Bang Bang tournament, which was open to anyone in Southeast Asia or anywhere in the world, in fact. And we got some great numbers for that. But yeah, we've got this coming up.
Bang, bang!
Full screen, please. Bang! Oh, not yet. Okay, cool. So yeah, we've got the National School Esports Invitational that's coming up on the 8th of August. The game will be Mobile Legends. It's another Bang Bang tournament. Fantastic stuff. We've got 4 of the 16 slots already taken. Dei Secondary, Bukit Batok, St. Patrick King Horn Secondary and Unity Secondary have already confirmed their participation. Again, registration closes on the 3rd of August and the event starts on the 8th of August. So if you're watching and if you're from one of the schools here in Singapore, secondary schools here in Singapore, I want you to go and look for your HOD, bang on his door and tell him, bang, bang, I want to join this Mobile Legends tournament, and please, can you get us in touch with One Play Sports, and we'd love to represent our school.
And make sure you tell them that the big man, the Notorious, sent you, and then the head of the department will listen. Nitin is still famous all these years on for his shenanigans at Woodland Secondary School. You're a living legend there, aren't you? How many times have you publicly caned in front of the entire
Man, are you doing this?
population?
One time, and yeah, let's
And
not
you took it like a man.
Okay, back to the, yeah, of course, definitely. Didn't hurt at all. But yeah, back to the final. We've got UAE versus Malaysia, please.
By the way, LSFC like, share, follow, comment. First rule of FIFA Club is you've got to like. Second rule of FIFA Club is you've got to share. Third rule of FIFA Club is you've got to, what's the other one? Like, share, follow, and comment. They're the 4 rules.
Yeah, and don't get public caned in your school, please.
And make sure, not just liking the One Play Sports page for all the latest updates. You've got Aisha now, who's doing a great job managing the One Play Sports page. Make sure you give the One Play esports page a like as well. It'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening in Southeast Asia and beyond when it comes to esports. Right, plenty of people asking when the kickoff is. They've heard enough of us rabbiting on, so let's get stuck into our full match build-up. Shout out to Beniotu. Shout out to Izzat. Shout out to Jessel's with us as well. He's in the house tonight, our head of esports. Shout out, by the way, to the great team behind the scenes. We've got Vic here in the house today, and also Double T. Travis is in the house. The only man, Travis, by the way, I think every single person in the office seems to spell his name differently. I don't think anyone ever spells it correctly. You've got Sam calls him Travers. I thought his name was Travis the first 6 months I met him, but it's Travers.
Yeah, it's Travers.
Oh,
but
no,
I've heard many people call him Travis as well. Travis, Travis Scott.
Okay, let's get stuck into it. The matchup tonight is quite simple. 2 legs, away goals. If we're all score after away goals after the 2 legs, we go to golden goal extra time, then penalties. Malaysia at home first against the UAE. The Malaysia leg at the Bukit Jalil kicking off in not too long from now, and then we'll be switching to the Zayed Centre for the UAE's turn to host. And again, I know we have this argument, and it's probably a bit boring for everyone, and I know you get bored me asking about it, but clearly from the semi-finals, both teams had a huge advantage when they played at home. So if you're going to take that as fact at this level, when there's great distances between the countries, do you want to be playing home first or second in this one if you were manager?
I'd want to be playing home second in this one because like what Malaysia did in that first leg against Saudi Arabia, you can go into an away game and try and play tactically to get a result. And in the second leg, I think there's a bit more pressure on because this is your last chance. You got one last 90 minutes to make the result count. So I would definitely favor having the second leg at home, which Malaysia have, right?
A notorious one. No, Malaysia home in the first leg.
Oh yeah, UAE. So UAE, in my opinion, they have a slight advantage.
Okay. Let's now pass the Nitin to go through the starting lineups and mark out for you the men to watch, the men that can be a danger. And there's obviously a whole host of talent in the Malaysian lineup. But in the UAE, they've got a man that really has been peerless when it comes to scoring goals so far in this competition.
Yep. So we'll start with Malaysia. Malaysia are playing a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow formation, a formation that I'm very keen on, a formation that encourages a lot of attacking play. So they've got, in goal, they've got Izul, left back Easy Gamer, KSI SAS, and X-Fun for you are centre backs. Max Nevis, another popular name among the Malaysian pro club scene. He's a right back. Rasta 96 has an important job at CDM. Rivox and Ras Hikes will provide lots of attacking threat and defensive stability, in my opinion, in central midfield. X-Baki is playing at central attacking midfielder, and Imran Dean and Zakwan are playing striker, We saw Imran Din and Zakwan score against Saudi Arabia in the semi-finals. So they have a combined goals of 10 goals. So it's a very potent strike force that Malaysia have, and something that UAE will be very wary about.
And of course, X-Fun for you sent off in the first leg.
Yes.
In the semi-final.
Which was a bit of an unnecessary tackle, in my opinion. I thought Malaysia did have enough men back when he made that tackle, so I think he will have to be a bit calmer today.
The only thing I'll say about that, Nitin, in the context of that red card, I mean, the way they were defending wouldn't have happened, but it came as they were up front, weren't they, having their first corner in a rare attacking foray. And he did break up the play, and that was the key to that matchup, the fact they only conceded one in the first leg. So I take your point on board, and again, I think tonight they don't want to see any red cards.
Wait, we need to do UAE. On to UAE now. We're doing a 4-2-3-1 for UAE. Oblak in goal. They've got K7O in right back, Gerard Red 4 in centre back, ZMS as well centre back, Mohammad Maher left back, DXB and Matt Ninja make up the central midfield. I love that name though, Matt Ninja. I don't think I've ever seen a calm ninja, but yeah, interesting there. Ali Iraqi, Totti, Khaled make up a very attacking midfield line in left wing cam and right attacking mid. And of course the striker UAE 007, who I believe is also known as Pepsi Max, is a player to watch out for. So in my opinion, both teams, their strengths are in attack, and hopefully we'll see lots of goals today.
How many ninjas have you met? You said you've never met a calm ninja. How many ninjas do you know personally?
I met Ninja Gaiden. Have you played Ninja Gaiden, the game? He's not a very calm ninja who runs around killing people all the time.
Is this another computer game?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a game reference.
That'll be over my head.
Yeah, on the esports page.
Yeah, but I'm giving this the full professional sport sheen.
Fair
Right, around about this time, I like to check in with my main man, Tournament Director VPG. He is the living legend of esports. I bow to no one in my admiration for him. Syed Yusof in the house. Syed, how close are we to be able to cross live to Bukit Jalil? Searching now.
Nice.
That gives me a chance to do some shout-outs, Nitin, and everyone wants you to shout them out. Shout-out to
Shout
Jad.
out.
Shout-out to Walid. Shout-out to Haniad. Shout-out to Tariq Al-Breiki. He says, good luck to the UAE. Vamoose UAE, says one of our Arab friends. Amaral Fitri, friend of the show. Malaysia will win for sure, he says. Ejat is cheering on Malaysia. Ultras Pro Esports is with us, another big-time friend of the show. Keep the comments coming. LSFC as they continue the search, and that just leaves time for Nitin to give us his prediction. Who is going to become the VPG Asian Cup 2020 champions and book their ticket to the VPG World Cup, Nitin?
I'm going Malaysia 4-2. I think they will just have... I think Rivox is a tactical genius. I think he'll get it right again, and I think Malaysia will end up champions. But having said that, do let us know your predictions in the comment section. I'll be happy to be proved wrong if UAE do come out and win, because they've been underestimated throughout this entire tournament, and it wouldn't surprise me if my prediction is wrong.
As it has been occasionally, not very often.
Not very often, but it has happened.
Speaking of getting predictions wrong, bearing in mind we're still searching, I can also ask you, the timing of this tonight's perfect. Hope you're safe and well with you on Saturday. Don't forget to realise that you've got to keep on sanitising. This has been great to bring you this esports during these COVID-19 times, where particularly around about this time every night, everyone, whether you're in Singapore, Malaysia, the Middle East, are stuck at home, so it's great to be able to entertain you. But the timing of this works very nicely because it leads us into the FA Cup final in the UK. What's your prediction for Arsenal and Chelsea later tonight, early tomorrow morning?
I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan, in case you didn't know, so there's no way. If either team wins today, I'm going to be disappointed, but I have to. Our producer just threatened to pull my mic down. He's an Arsenal fan, but I'm going for Chelsea today. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm going for Chelsea 3-2.
Okay, where are we, Yusuf? I don't see any warm-up screen behind me. What's the issue? We are connecting right now, which is good. And, of course, Nitin, I'll be needing your expert eye to analyse the lag. That certainly, I think, Kurdistan were putting that down to their poor display by their high standards in the semi-final. So hopefully we'll get an early indication. Of course, Malaysia will be hoping that the UAE get some lag in the first leg, because if they don't, and then the Malaysian boys get it in the second leg, it's a huge disadvantage.
It is a huge disadvantage, but again, if you play pro clubs long enough, you can deal with the leg. There is still ways to perform, so I'm not accepting that as an excuse today.
Final seconds before we go to Bukit Jalil. The predictions are coming in. Siva says Malaysia 3-1. We've got Hamiad says 1-0 for the UAE. I've got a feeling it might be a low-scoring affair as well. You know, Usana Al-Banna is loving Chelsea in terms of the FA Cup. Shout out Hamza, shout out Jari. It's the final of the 2020 VPG Asian Cup. It is Malaysia in the blue playing left to right, the UAE in the red playing from right to left. Who will book their ticket to the VPG World Cup? We'll find out very shortly as the UAE belt that ball away. And you can already see that the UAE not being too adventurous coming forward early. And here is this quick moving, quick playing style that Reebok's boys are so known for. An unusually loose pass from Reebok, though, but they'll come up with a throw, the Malaysian boys, Nitty.
Yes, Malaysia have to start aggressively. They have to try and get an early goal, and that will change
Oh,
the
this is
plan.
starting aggressively. A chance early on. And UAE in scrambling defence mode.
Yeah, good defending. They dealt with it well, but again, not surprised to see Malaysia starting on the front foot.
Well, it's a promising start for Malaysia, but they know only too well. Saudi Arabia dominated possession against Malaysia in the first leg when they were at home in the semi-final and only had the one goal to show for it, and it wasn't enough. So Malaysia, how many goals do you think Reebok is going to need to get out of this game? What kind of lead is he going to need? What's he said he's still out to get in terms of a lead?
I think a 2-0 result will suit the Malaysians well. Not conceding an away goal is very important. So.
Oh, here's Imran Dean knitted into the area. Just got crowded out. There was plenty of red shirts back there. No question they're defensively minded here, the UAE. It's going to try and hit them quickly on the break.
Yeah, they are defensively minded, but I know they're not doing Malaysia versus Saudi Arabia. They're not parking everyone behind the ball. They're still looking for goals, which is very important. Again, the away goal could turn out to be the key deciding factor here.
Shout out to our dear friend Baron Kladar, who's with us watching on Facebook. He, of course, is another valued member of the One Play Sports family as Malaysia get down that right-hand side.
Good defending there by Gerard Reid.
In the first corner of the game now. You know Reebok's sides love a near post flick on to try and score. They've gone central with this one though, and that's headed away easily enough by the UAE, but they're just struggling to get out their own area at the moment, and there's an open space. But again, they can't get the shot away through the first quarter of an hour, Nitty.
Yeah, but promising signs for Malaysia. They have found ways to get in behind so far, which is promising. Yeah,
Rasta, the CDM, will be mopping up and anchoring that midfield for Malaysia today. There he goes again out to the left-hand side, and the magnificently named Easy Gamer to Reebok. Nice pass inside to ex-Bucky. Now Imran Dean, can he get the shot away? Imran Dean, he's had it taken off his toes by DXB, the centre mid for the UAE. But again, Malaysia knocking on the door. Slightly concerning is now they've had no shots on goal, and we're now, well, we're nearly a third of the way through the first half.
Yeah, not yet, but as we saw in the semi-final against Saudi Arabia, Imran Dean has got fantastic close control. So if he does get more chances like that in the box, he will eventually manage to get a shot away, and it'll be up to the keeper to keep it up.
Yunus says 3-0 to the UAE. That's his prediction. Well, to make that happen, they're going to have to hold Malaysia to a clean sheet here. And of course, from Malaysia's point of view, we've seen through all our fantastic FIFA Pro Club tournaments with our dear friends at VPG just how important a clean sheet is when it comes to the away goals. It completely changes the complexion of what they have to do in the UAE if they concede. At the moment, no, looking like conceding, but they're not looking like scoring. Are they going to turn it on? We've seen from Reebok's boys in the past, just when you write them off, they come up and make it look oh so easy. But the UAE, the lag knitting, which you haven't mentioned yet, is because it's non-existent, I'm taking it.
Yeah, it looks good for the UAE. Maybe the passing isn't as sharp. Oh, Imran Dean.
Imran Dean, well, he's known for that close control, and there's been a couple of occasions early on where he's had a slightly heavy first touch, which
might be the final nerves, Patrick.
Yeah, well, it's big prizes up for grabs here. A ticket to the VPG World Cup. It's like going to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory in gaming terms. So who is going to find the VPG golden ticket here? Only the strong survive, win or go home. These two teams have worked so hard over the last month to make this final. And can Malaysia win their second trophy at VPG International Pro Club in a little over a month? Ex-Bucky, they've won this back well, the Malaysians. Into the area they go, and he's goal side. Oh, great interjection from the UAE.
By ZMS.
ZMS with some brilliant defence. Danny Aya says 2-1 for Malaysia. That's his prediction. Does look like it's going to be low scoring. Are we going to get the opening goal now? No, we're not. We are, though, going to get another corner.
Yeah, it's been a very good defensive display so far from UAE. I have to say the two CDMs are providing very good cover for the defenders, and they're making it hard for Malaysia at this point.
And UAE at the moment, the game being played almost exclusively in their half. That's a lovely bit of skill over on that far side, though. but they've just not got the numbers committed up front. Oh, that's a good steal now. They've got 4 red shirts forward this time.
Wrong pass.
But the pass was ambitious, and KSI, who's another defensive rock.
Lost it again.
But they've given it away on the edge of the area. They're not going to concede, are they? What a save! What a stunning save from Isl in goal for Malaysia. Well, after all that Malaysia pressure, it's UAE who've come closer to scoring in this first half.
Yes, and they've got a corner here.
That's just gone wide. They tried the near post then.
But that was all down to Malaysia not being able to get the ball out of defense well. They lost it twice in a row, and they almost got paid. Izul there, preventing a very, very important goal for UAE. Could have been the, again, away goals we've seen in our previous competitions, how important they can be, and Izul just saved the side there.
Here's Rybox leading from the front as always. Rybox, edge of the area, wins it back, and Imran Dean is there. Look at the skills from Imran Dean, and another great save, this time at the other end as Oblak keeps the UAE clean sheet intact. Business picking up at the Bukit Jalil Nitin Amir.
Yep, 2 close calls from both sides. Again, Imran Dean showing fantastic footwork. Got past his man, powered the shot into the near post, but I have to say Oblak, just like his counterpart, Jan Oblak, he's been fantastic in goal, and that was a really good save.
Coming down this right-hand side, they're growing in confidence here. It's Ali Iraq down the right for the UAE. They've weathered an early storm, and that will give the Malaysians a wake-up call that they're very capable on the counter. This managerial battle between Rybox and Totti, we're no closer to finding out who's going to come out on top, but it might be a chance for Malaysia to open the scoring here, scrambling in the area, and they get it away again with DXB, who's come up with 3 or 4 important touches through the first 45 minutes, Nitin.
Yep, the entire backline and the 2 CDMs, the DXB and Manninja have been absolutely super for UAE so far. They've limited Malaysia to some half chances, and yeah, so far so good for UAE and their game plan.
Easy gamer, calm as you like. He's easy like Suntag morning, easy gamer. Really calm as a cucumber at left back. Here's Imran Dean, the man we're expecting to make things happen. Ex-Bucky, Imran Dean, Imran Dean!
There you go, what a man, what a goal!
Imran Dean, goal Malaysia! And they take the lead at the Bukit Jalil right on half-time. What a man, what a score, and what a time to make the breakthrough, Nitin.
I warned you all, I not say I warned you all, but I told you all Imran Dean had fantastic close control, and he showed it there again. A fantastic little shift to his left foot.
Last kick of the half.
Last kick of the half, and a powerful finish into the near post. No chance for the goalkeeper. We saw a similar goal to that that he scored against Saudi Arabia, so I think the keeper could have done better because it was a near post finish, but again, fantastic football from Imran Dean to create the chance.
The stats show you that these two are going to have a close encounter tonight. We're only a quarter of the way through the action. Remember, we go to the Zayed for the second leg in the UAE immediately after this match at Bukit Jalil. But the Malaysians, they'll be pleased that they survived that scare after that great save from Izul, and scoring as they did. It's huge, isn't it? Because now the UAE team talk at half-time from Totti is completely changed.
Yeah, completely agree. A goal just before half-time would be very disappointing for UAE. Again, I thought they were fantastic defensively, except for that last chance which saw them concede. So it's got to be a shift in UAE's game plan. They've got to try and get the away goal now, in my opinion.
Predictions flying through. Ultras Pro Esports 2-1 to VPG Malaysia. We've got Haziq Mansouri says nice goal Malaysia. Hamiyad has promised us that Ali Iraq will score the right winger. So let's see if he is right, Hamiyad. Keep the comments coming. LSFC, like, share, follow, comment here on One Play Sports.
It'll be interesting to see in the second leg whether Malaysia deploy a similar tactic as they did against Saudi Arabia.
Well, can they do that with only a 1-goal lead? I think if they were 3 up, they might adopt that. I think it's dangerous. You've only got the 1-goal lead. Oh, they've given it away! Oh, how's he missed? Through on goal with only the keeper to beat, and he didn't hit the target. That's extraordinary, Nitin. Malaysia survive a real scare.
Yeah, I think that's Khalid there with a really golden opportunity. Again, I think he took the shot a bit too early. He had the time to bring it in a bit more. And
they're in again, Nitin. It's Khalid again. Can he make up for it this time? Squares the ball. All of a sudden, the UAE all over them. And that's good goalkeeping from Izul, but the chances are starting to come for the UAE, Nitin. What's changed in Malaysia's game plan to let the UAE boys back into it?
I think it's just it's been a very slow start for Malaysia in the second half, but full credit to UAE. They know they want that away goal, and they were so close there. Again, I think Khalid could have taken a few more touches to bring it closer to the keeper, make the goalkeeper commit to a side, but yeah.
Look at that from Rybox. He finds Ex-Bucky, and they're in with a chance again. Can they make it 2-0? Ex-Bucky! Could have got anywhere across the 6-yard box, and the UAE get it clear.
CMS there doing a John Terry style defending, literally threw his body in front of the line, and yeah, he's kept his side just 1 goal down.
Khalid But Amro is making himself a nuisance, and they're in again! And that would have been the spectacular, but just over the bar. But the chances are opening up now in this game, and this is a warning sign for Malaysia that one goal I don't think is going to be enough. They're going to have to get another one, Nitin, because don't forget this is their home leg. Can they get the second goal? Not at the moment. If anything, it's the UAE who are looking more likely to score next.
It's been a fantastic start from the UAE here in the opening 10 minutes. They know what they want. They need an away goal, and that's what they're trying to get. But having said that, the more men they commit forward, the easier it's going to be for Malaysia to counter-attack. So they're going to have to be very careful and balanced in the way they attack.
Look at that from Easy Gamer. He gets this counter-attack from Malaysia moving very
what
nicely.
A ball.
What a ball! 2-0!
Last one! What a goal!
What a score! Malaysia double their advantage. And you have to say, credit to Easy Gamer who started that free-flowing move brilliantly. And look at Izzul. Izzul's run halfway up the pitch to celebrate. It's 2-0.
He's done a Jens Lehmann there as Izzul. Fantastic combination between the two strikers. Imran Din this time finding the run of Zakwan perfectly with a, I have to say, immaculate through ball. Razwan wasn't going to miss after that. It's combined, they now have 12 goals in this tournament, and it's a fantastic start for Malaysia in the second half.
And of course the key thing now is they must keep this clean sheet intact, Malaysia, because if they can go even with a 2-0, with a 3-0 would be beautiful. 2-0 and they get just one goal in the UAE, that would mean that the UAE have to score 4 at home. And the way we saw Malaysia defend against Saudi Arabia, that is a tall order. So the hard work's been done to a certain extent, but there's still 25 minutes to play in this second half. Although, hold on a second, what's he given here?
No.
He's given a penalty!
No.
Oh, Nitin can't believe it, neither can the UAE. And here's a chance for Malaysia to make it 3.
Oh.
He's missed it, and he's missed the
my
rebound as
God.
well. Extraordinary scenes, the penalty hit the post, and they were shell-shocked into standing still, and they couldn't put the rebound away. I've literally seen it all now, Notorious.
You have, so have I, and I have to say, justice has been done there. I don't believe that was a penalty. I thought it was a very harsh penalty to give away.
The FIFA ref is never wrong.
Is he? I think he was wrong there, but again, I think justice has been served. Malaysia deserved a 2-0 lead, and I think 3-0 would have been a bit harsh on UAE, so glad to see it still at 2-0.
Well, a missed penalty, drama at both ends. This game has had it all, and there's still a half to go. He's offside there. Nitin called that in running. But how important could that miss be in the final reckoning, particularly, Nitin, if the UAE grab a late goal and hit Malaysia with a kind of sucker punch that the Malaysians hit them with at the end of the first half? A goal for the UAE now turns this tie on its head.
In my opinion, UAE have to score now. They have to score. If not, it's going to be a very big task for us in the second leg.
Ali Iraq, this is better from the UAE. Numbers in the middle, and they're going to have a corner. Now, not been too impressed with the corners we've seen so far. Got to think the near post is the way to play this. They're waiting for the runners to come. We're inside the final 20 virtual minutes of this first leg, where Malaysia lead by 2-0. They've missed a penalty by hitting the post, and now Malaysia go forward with only one man up front, but that man is Imran Din, and when he's on the ball, anything is possible. Not this time.
The mad ninja there saying, Imran, enough.
Well played by Rybox again. Clock management might start coming into this. There's still a full 90 minutes after this one. We'll be crossing live to the UAE for the second leg. You're watching live the final, the grand final of the 2020 VPG Asian Cup live on One Play Sports. Shout out to you wherever you're watching around the world. Huge numbers joining us for this tonight. We're up to 660 watching live on Facebook.
Nice.
Great to have you all with us, folks. Let me give some shout outs while we're waiting. Keep the comments coming. Mohammed Nasir is with us. Chad is with us as well. Khalil Hussein saying the UAE will win. Well, Khalil, they're going to have to score you fancy here, because otherwise, if Malaysia get the first goal in the second leg, the UAE boys have got a mountain to climb. But just this penalty, it really would be stick a fork in it if that penalty goes in. They could be it again. Is this number 3? Runs it out of play, and they'll have to make do with a corner.
Yeah, I think UAE did come on in the second half trying to get that away goal, and it has cost them because Malaysia have countered, and how well they've countered.
That was lax from Razak as Kali gets it away. He finds Mohammed down the left-hand side. So Mohammed Maher coming down the left. They've got to try and create one last chance in the UAE. They really should have scored at least one in this game. But then again, Malaysia should be 3 up, having missed the penalties. That works both ways. They don't look like they're going to get the away goal. So the next mission must be not to concede a third. The Malaysians are in again. It's Imran Din. Beats 1, beats 2, and has to make do with a corner again.
He had to do everything on his own there, but fantastic hold-up play from Imran, winning his side a corner here in the 83rd minute.
Corner comes in. Delivery's not bad. And it's bobbing across the area.
Offside.
And the flag is up. He knew he was offside as well there. They should be able to run this clock down. Malaysia, clearly they're happier with the two teams knitted.
Yes.
The clean sheet's the key here. Well, obviously 2-0 better than 1-0, but you'd rather win 2-0 than 3-1 in this situation, wouldn't you?
Yeah, completely agree. And again, I believe UAE have to try in these last 6-7 minutes that they have to try and get an away goal, because a 2-0 lead for Malaysia might just be enough, I feel.
But Malaysia, usually the past masters at playing games out. They've coughed up possession now, though. An easy game. What a game Easy Game has had. It was him that started the move that gave them the second goal. He's been an absolute colossus at fullback. All the Malaysian defenders have played brilliantly. They've got one more piece of work to do, and this time ex-Bucky with the steal. Imran Dean's got Zakwan ahead of him. Imran Dean, to the left they go. They've still got time if they want to try and get this third. Rybox, and that's very uncharacteristic of Rybox to give it away like that. There's just 2 minutes time to be added on. The UAE have got to go coast to coast very quickly if they are to get that away goal, and I don't think they're going to do it. If they've got time to create one more opportunity, the next time the ball goes safe, that will be that. Our FIFA Pro Card referee is about to blow for full time in a first leg of the grand final of the VPG Asian Cup 2020 that has delivered in spades. Is there time for one more chance? Referee's not blowing yet. This really would seal it. But the UAE survive.
Oh, well done,
Malaysia
guys.
beat the UAE by 2-0. Both strikers with one apiece. Imran Dean with one, Zakwan with the other. Some great performances from Malaysia. They did, though, miss a penalty, and UAE missed a couple of, particularly that chance early in the second half that came to Khalid Benamo. They should really have scored a goal, but as it stands, it's very much advantage Malaysia knitted.
Yes, completely agree. I do believe UAE had the chances to get an away goal, but the finishing boots weren't on tonight, and it's a shame to see. I have to say this is the first goal from Malaysia. Imran Dean again showing fantastic footwork, right foot finish into the near post. No chance for the keeper. Blasted it. He didn't.
You criticised the keeper at half-time for conceding that one.
Yeah, but having looked at it again, it was this was the second goal. Right finish. Fantastic ball from Imran Dean again. Easy gamer started that move off.
We see the penalty missing. The penalty missing.
Yeah, I don't. It may not have been in the highlights. But yeah, again, I think if the UAE goalkeeper had done his homework, he would have known that Imran Dean likes his near post finishes, and he maybe could have done better with that one. But having said that and seeing the replay, it was a very powerful finish. Maybe no chance.
Couple of decent saves from Izil, but the one great chance that the UAE had didn't need a save from Izil. They blasted it wide. Khalid Benamo, I'm sure, would like that opportunity back. We get another look. I don't mind seeing the decision for the penalty again. As you said, you were very surprised it was given away.
Yeah, it looked very soft. But again, it's a game after all, and sometimes these decisions happen. This was the goal from Imran again. Fantastic footwork. Right foot finish near post. Let's look at whether the keeper could have done better. Don't you think he could have done better? Perhaps, right? Yeah.
I think you can see both sides of the story there. I mean, what's the turning point of that game? The missed penalty or the missed chance for the UAE to get the away goal?
I would say the turning point would have been that 45th minute goal. This was the miss from UAE. Again, I think it was Khalid there. I do feel he had a bit more time to bring it into the box and perhaps commit the keeper to a side. But yeah, unlucky from the UAE. They had the chances to get an away goal, but they just couldn't find the finish.
Another great first-time effort that just
That was
went high
Totti,
wide.
I believe.
Not so handsome. Didn't see much, to be fair, of Totti or 007 really in that game.
Yep, I think attacking-wise, Malaysia were the better side, and as you can see from the two finishes from the strikers, Imran Dean and Zakwan, proving to be the difference here between the two sides.
Okay, that's our highlight reel from the first leg in the 2020 VPG Asian Cup final. The Malaysians leading by 2-0. Don't you dare go anywhere. We'll be crossing live to the UAE very shortly for the second leg of tonight's league matchup. So Malaysia, 2 goals. Will it be enough? You'll find out in just a couple of moments' time. Stay right with us here on One Play Sport. Spectrum, the Notorious, alongside me, bringing you this fantastic live coverage of the 2020 VPG Asian Cup, where Willy Wonka's golden VPG ticket is up for grabs. The winners of tonight's big matchup not only crowned Asian champions, but they'll get entry into the VPG World Cup that is slated for early next year. Malaysia with the 2-0 lead. We saw enough quality from the UAE though, Nitin, that to suggest on their own patch there might be a different story. If you're Ryvox, I mean, it's so difficult to second guess him because he's a tactical genius.
Yeah.
What is your priority in this game? Is it conceding first or scoring first? What would you rather do? If you score first, then the UAE have got to score 4 goals, and I just can't see it happening.
That's true, but having said that, they've already done the hard work in terms of winning the first game 2-0. So, in my opinion, Malaysia will now go there aiming not to concede. If they do concede, I can see them switching it up and trying to get that goal. So, again, I do believe Malaysia will go there trying not to concede.
Now, I've got the updated lineup in front of me, so get your pen
Nice.
out here from the excellent use of what a tournament directory is. And there are multiple changes, and we've seen Malaysia employ this in the past. It's not a tactic I'm a huge fan of, but they are making lots of changes. They're changing goalkeeper, which surprises me because it is all played well. So Abbey goes in goal. That's a tactic they've employed. X-Fun for you, Max Nevis is there. KSI, is that a new centre-back in Classico? I think it is.
Yeah.
So Classico comes in to replace KSI. Easy game as you were. Now in the middle of the park, we've got Phoenicia is coming in, and I think he is coming in. He's coming in for Razhax. Will is now in the centre. Ex-Bucky stays there, and that means that Rasta's taking a seat, and they're now just playing one up top in Imran Dean. So straight away, it looks like a more defensively minded setup.
It's again, I think we're in for another tactical masterclass of
4-5-1. It's going 4-5-1,
Which
to
is
bring
what they-
home the sweetie.
which is what they played in Saudi Arabia as well. So again, no surprise to see Malaysia aiming not to concede in the second leg. The onus is on UAE though, and judging from that first game, which was fantastic from both ends, I have to say, both sides put on a very good performance. They can create the chances. It's about, in my opinion, UAE have to come out and try and get an early goal, shake that Malaysian defense up, and yeah, if they do get an early goal, I can see Malaysia wanting to switch things up and trying to get the away goal, which could create space for UAE.
One thing I
in turn.
will say is that they played it perfectly in Saudi Arabia because they didn't concede early. When you set your stall up like that, defending a 2-0 lead, the nerves start to jangle if you concede early. They need to navigate the first 30 virtual minutes. If they concede early, this is very much game back on. And don't forget, if there's a goal scored by Malaysia in this game, then that becomes impossible to go to extra time golden goal. We will have a winner in 180 minutes.
Yes, if Malaysia do score, but again, Malaysia are setting up not to concede, so I'm not sure if they'll get a goal, but the onus is once again on UAE. They are down by 2-0. They have to get the early goal, and if they do get the early goal, I can see Malaysia's nerves start to kick in, and we'll have a very exciting game, so fingers crossed, an early goal for UAE.
Eunice very unhappy about that refereeing decision that led to the penalty, but as Nitin said, you could argue
I
justice
agree
was done.
with you.
Our dear friend Hisham, manager of VPG in Queen's Park Rangers and a big fan and supporter of everything here on our esports, has come on Malaysia. We have also got, who else is in the house here? Eunice says, my man, you can do it. Believe you can do it. The UAE. We've also got shout-outs from Zaharia Mohammed. It says, go Will ZM. And our dear friends, what fun we had with them during the Pro Club Challenge. Patrick Legend are with us as well. I'm being told, even though they're now the host nation, UAE are having connection issues, and don't like to hear that.
You know, it might. Okay, again, they could really be having connection
I
issues,
know, I know
but
what you're about to say.
I think it might be a chance for them to take 5-10 minutes to try and figure out who their best players are, because there are substitutes waiting in line to come on. I do believe this is the UAE manager maybe buying some time, hoping to.
Are you accusing, alive on One Play Sports, are you accusing the UAE of lying to us?
No, I'm not.
You're saying they're liars?
I completely understand if that was what they were doing, and you know, I would do it too, and I would say, oh, sorry, I can't connect, I just need a few more minutes. And what I'd be doing
It's
is...
not very honest though, is it?
It's okay though, I can completely understand. It's a final, and UAE again have been underdogs throughout the tournament, and
They found a way to win. That's been the key to
Exactly.
that's been the key to their success. But
so these extra minutes could help the manager find a team to win.
it's
and,
unethical,
if
Nitin.
that
It's
hap-
unethical.
Not really. I think if they delay it by 5 minutes, it's okay. But if you end up waiting 15-20 minutes for the game to start, I think that's a bit much.
Now, I'm going to ask my tournament director, Yusuf. Yusuf, what's the procedure? How long do you give these guys? I'm sure as tournament director, as we speak, you're chatting with Totti, the manager, telling him to get his skates on with live television schedules both here and in Malaysia to adhere to. Give me an update, Yusuf. Sorry, 5 minutes? Yeah, 5 minutes. That's just about borderline to what you think's acceptable, isn't it?
Yep. And I think that's fair. they could really be having connection issues. I hope they're not. I hope they're using this time to, figure out a way to win.
I tell you what, while you've got this couple of spare minutes, update me on what's happening in the world of esports, because I know you're down with the kids when it comes to that kind of thing. All kinds of stories doing the rounds about FIFA 21 and its release, talk of a boycott. There was even, say it quietly, because you don't want to cause a national disturbance wherever you're watching, suggestions that there might not be Pro Club on FIFA 21, but that would be FIFA suicide by EA Sports if they went down that road, surely.
It would be, but again, it wouldn't surprise me because pro clubs is not something that EA Sports can make money from. There's their main source of income, I believe, is through FUT, FIFA Ultimate Team. People buy packs, they try and get players, and it encourages a lot of extra spending. In pro clubs, you literally have to work hard to get your trades, to get your points to improve your players. So I can see FIFA wanting to switch from FUT to make people stop focusing on pro clubs and start playing FUT. And I think if they did that, it'd be a very smelly move, as they say here in Singapore. So I hope that's not the case. I hope we get pro clubs. I've been playing pro clubs for 4 or 5 years now. Completely enjoy it. Me and my friends have lots of fun. And they will lose a lot of people if they cut pro clubs out.
I'll keep an eye on that development as it goes along. You're watching, if you're just joining us, live coverage of the VPG Grand Final of the 2020 Asian Cup. We're at the halfway mark. We've just had the first leg at Bukit Jalil. Malaysia won it by 2-0. We're about to cross live to the Zayed in the UAE for the second leg. I'm being told there's just 1 or 2 UAE players waiting to connect now. As a regular visitor to the Middle East, I will tell you one thing: their internet connection in UAE and Qatar, all those places, is absolutely electric. So I'm not buying this connection issue problem. I think you're spot on it, and I think there's some shenanigans here. What are you doing now if you're Rivox? He is the manager with the most this issue. Like, he'll be obviously taking this opportunity to speak to his players, and they're not communicating on like a group chat on WhatsApp. They'll be speaking to each other on their headphones, right?
Yeah, so
how do you manage that though with 11 voices?
There is a party function in PS4 where 16 players can join a chat. So yeah, everyone's talking to each other.
Why do you never invite me to a party?
Because you don't have a PS4.
No, that would help, wouldn't
But
it?
you should buy a PS5. It's coming out soon. Or you could buy me a PS5.
Okay, happy Christmas. Hazim Janema says the UAE team is going to do it. We believe. Great to have you with us, Hazim.
Solid,
also
bro.
got Bakari Yusof, who has got the Malaysian flag flying high and the 3 trophies that would symbolise the Pro Club Challenge won by the Amigos, managed by Rivox. The VPG, One Play Sports South
Treble.
East Nations Championships, won by Malaysia, managed by Rivox, and they are halfway there to winning the VPG 2020 Asian Cup, again managed by Rivox. I'm being told players are now in the lobby, so the nerves really starting to jangle as we come up to 1:45 here, Singapore time. You're watching live esports on the One Play Esports and One Play Sports Network. What's your prediction for this second leg, Nitin?
So I went 4-2 overall. I think I was a bit greedy with the goals there, but I'm still going for a Malaysia win. I can see the second leg ending either 1-0 to Malaysia or 1-1. I think Malaysia's defensive line might be a bit too much for UAE to break through. But having said that, if UAE can score an early goal, all bets are out the door and anything can happen.
But the flip side is if Malaysia score an early goal, as unlikely as that seems with their lineup, surely the UAE's heads will start to drop, won't they? Because it then becomes a mission impossible. 4 goals. If you concede, say, in the first 10 minutes and you don't get one back before half-time, it's over against Malaysia. You ain't going to score 4 goals against Malaysia in the second half.
Completely agree with that. If Malaysia do get the first goal here, UAE will be in lots of trouble because as we saw in the game against Saudi Arabia, Malaysia are very comfortable defending in numbers, and yeah, it's going to be a big problem if Malaysia score first. And also, it's going to be a big problem for Malaysia if UAE score first. So I'm hoping for an early goal, and that will really excite things here in the final.
East Asia against West Asia. Very shortly, that screen behind me will denote the warm-up screen that will then take us live pitch side to the UAE for this second leg. Haven't got any confirmation of team changes quite yet from the UAE. Any players for you disappointed in that first leg that if you were managing, you'd think about changing out?
No, I think the attacking players weren't given the service required because the 2 CDMs sat very deep to help out the defense, and they did a fantastic job in that match. So perhaps the 2 CDMs can get more involved in the attack, start dragging the Malaysian players around, creating some space, and hopefully the attackers can thrive on that space.
Well, this is fantastic. I wish, it's very upsetting actually. I'm going to ask Vic, I don't think it's possible. Vic, if there's a way of getting this video up on the screen, I'd love to see it because I've just been sent a video. And again, talk me through this. The UAE boys, obviously not possible in Southeast Asia because of social distancing. I know there are different rules for different countries. It's going to look ridiculous. If I show you a video and people at home can't watch it, it's not fair, so I'm not going to show it to you in the interest
Try
of
showing it
fairness.
there, maybe.
Let me see if it
Might
will
that
work.
work?
I don't think it will, guys,
Let's
but let me
try.
try. Because this is, if you can, I don't think you can see it, but that's all the boys from the UAE. They're all at a venue in the UAE playing together. So I was asking you about talking on headphones. I mean, they'll still be talking on headphones, but for morale and for togetherness, how great is it that they're all at the same place? And please, God, after COVID-19 has passed, that'll be a sign of the things to come in Southeast Asia as well.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Again, fantastic to see the UAE team gelling together like this. I think in order for all of them to meet at one location, it shows a certain amount of team spirit as well. So fantastic to see, and I hope again that they're all together and they can get that early goal to make things exciting here in the final.
Yeah, great to see the camaraderie through the ranks of the UAE boys. And they're all
Fantastic
still
stuff,
looking very
boys.
upbeat. I'm being told there was a disconnection after a jersey issue. 4-2-3 were narrow. And is that Malaysia or is that UAE?
UAE,
so they're both. So that's interesting. They're going one up front, but clearly those three playing in behind the lead-off striker, I'm assuming is going to be 007, the man that likes the Pepsi challenge. The onus is going to be on those three behind him to create great service and give him the opportunities. To score 2, which is the minimum they've got to score, you need to, I think, factor watching UAE over the last couple of weeks on creating at least half a dozen good chances for them to make sure you're going to get 2.
Yep, Ali, Iraqi, Totti, and Khalid are going to be very, very important in this game, and I hope they deliver. I hope we've got a strong following from the UAE. And again, everyone who's watching this, please, if you could do us a favor and like the One Play Esports page, we'd be very grateful for that. We are planning to continue, bringing you some fantastic FIFA content and
other esports as well.
Yeah, and it'd be great for you to join us on this adventure, especially if you're a keen fan of esports.
So obviously, I know and like me FIFA. What else have we got? We got the Bang Bang. We got League of Legends.
Bang. I do believe we're planning a Warzone tournament, Call of Duty
Is that
Warzone.
another game, Warzone?
Call of Duty.
Speaking of war zones and speaking of Call of Duty, it's a Call of Duty now for the United Arab Emirates and Malaysia. We're crossing live to the UAE for the second leg. The Malaysians with that 2-goal advantage. First goal is going to be crucial. I cannot wait for this. The atmosphere and tension is palpable here in the One Play Esports spectrum. Let's go pitch side to see if the UAE can turn it around, and let's hope we don't get any disconnections. It'll be Malaysia back in there from in yellow, playing from right to left, but the UAE with it all to do in the red, playing from left to right as the Mad Ninja gets an early introduction. Now Mohammed down the left, knitted, and already UAE setting their stall out. They're going to be far more aggressive now.
Yeah, an early goal is what the doctor ordered here, and I hope one of these teams get an early goal, because that will definitely change the complex of this game and make it a lot more exciting.
And is it just me, or are they looking a lot more crisper and a lot more sharper?
Yes,
and talk me
passing's
through that
looking
little
much better.
angle thing that's appearing on the screen. I've not seen that
He
before.
hasn't turned off his sensor. I do believe.
Oh, what
my
a shot!
God.
Out of nothing. Great save from Abby. Well, I tell you what.
Keeper's disconnected, I think.
Oh no, Abby's disconnected. Why on earth did they change his or any other disconnection? Didn't keep an eye on that.
Yeah,
and I tell you something, this is going to be the longest 85 virtual minutes of all these Malaysian boys' lives, because you can see the UAE mean business here, Nitin.
And I'm telling you, it doesn't help that the referee is wearing the same color as the Malaysian team for some reason. FIFA, you got to sort this out, man.
We've seen that before, haven't we? Abdullah says, is it the final? You better believe it, Abdullah.
It is.
It's the second leg of the final, with Malaysia leading 2-0 aggregate. And hold on a second. Well, Imran Dean, it's going to be a lonely virtual 90 minutes for him. He's not going to see another shirt anywhere near him.
You can see the crispness of UAE this time. It's
they've
so
upped
much
it,
more
haven't
different, yeah. And again, Malaysia will be facing a little form of lag in this game, and it's something they just have to deal with.
Well, can they hold out here? And how important might that missed penalty turn out to be? We saw them defend masterfully to only concede one in Saudi Arabia in the semi-finals. But this is a whole new ball game. The UAE are knocking it around so beautifully. They look to be playing 4 seconds quicker than Malaysia at the moment. And there's a free kick right on the edge of the area. Who's over it? Is the Mad Ninja over it? Nitin can't quite
No,
tell.
I don't think it's the Mad Ninja.
I think
it might be a
DXB?
Totti maybe.
Or Totti even. Well, Totti in that CAM role. Play it short. Khalid with the turn. And Malaysia get it away. This is just going to be a game of UAE getting it in the area and Malaysia trying to kick it to the halfway line. That's essentially the pattern we're going to see and repeat for the next 77 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be another Saudi Arabia performance for Malaysia and Rywoks, and they got the result they wanted in that game. Will they get the result they want in this game? We'll find out.
If they offer them 0-0 now, they literally cry with happiness. This is going to be a question, I think, of how long they can hold out before they concede the first. If they can keep UAE scoreless here, with the disconnections, with the lag, the way it's going, with a bot playing in goal that have done brilliantly, it's going to be a long, well, 12 minutes the virtual 90 equates to. We played 1/3 of the first half, and that was good work from Phoenicia.
I have to say it's been a fantastic opening 16 minutes from UAE. This is exactly what they needed to do. They've been on the front foot. They've been trying to create chances. They have forced a save out of the goalkeeper as well. So promising stuff from the UAE here early on.
Khalid missed a great opportunity to get the away goal. My, what Malaysia wouldn't give now for an away goal to turn the tide back in their favour. Yes, they have the lead, but the UAE need to play like a team that are capable of scoring 2 goals or more.
They looked very, very good here in the second.
Oh,
good
what
skills.
a pass! He's left him for dead into the area, and Malaysia's notorious defence, Rivox, he's almost invented a new position here in front of the goalkeeper and behind the 2 centre-backs. Is there anything this man can't do? Mad Ninja, that is the Ninja man. Totti with a lovely ball through. Khalid and Phoenicia, edge of the area, and Malaysia survive once more. Well, they've navigated a quarter of this match knitted. And the UAE await the first goal that would really then put the tie in the balance. As long as Malaysia stop from scoring, I think, before half-time, all of a sudden the pressure switches back onto the UAE boys in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. But again, very impressed with how the UAE have started. You know, Malaysia have many men behind the ball, but they still managed to find a way in behind. And if they continue to do that, it's only a matter of time before they score, in my opinion.
Lovely work from Malaysia to get it clear. Imran Dean, goodness gracious me, even at this point, getting the ball and running it to the other corner flag and ticking away 10 virtual minutes is worth its weight in gold. Ex-Bucky, well, you have to say one thing about Malaysia. Boy, oh boy, are they cool under pressure.
Great play from UAE though.
Totti in the space they've given him. You can't give Totti that kind of space. They've got to score. They survive again. My, oh my, Mad Ninja now. Space on the left-hand side. It's just wave after wave of red attack.
Oh my God.
And somehow Malaysia have navigated the first half hour without conceding.
Yeah,
at what point, as long as it stays 0-0, at
Yep.
what point does the panic set in for the UAE? 60 minutes gone or at half-time?
I would say yes, around 60 minutes. If they haven't got the goal yet, I think they'd have to start throwing the kitchen sink as well. So that will leave a lot of space for Malaysia to counter again. So it's a bit of a balancing act for the UAE. At the moment, I think they've got it spot on in terms of the number of men they're committing forward and how they're playing.
Remember, they kept Saudi Arabia scoreless in Saudi for 60 minutes, and at the moment, they're 32 minutes in. So here we go. We know they've got a track record, the UAE, for turning on in the closing stages. I think Malaysia, as was proven in the C Nations Cup final, are a better country than Singapore in terms of pro club at the moment. But they scored 5 goals after the 52nd minute in that group match against Singapore. So we know they can finish games fast, but Malaysia defensively just so strong and solid. And when they've got a game plan, they stick to it rigidly.
Yeah, but agreed. And yeah, they scored 5 against Singapore, but I believe Singapore would have been trying to score in that game. In this game, we've got a completely different circumstance. Malaysia are here to defend, and I don't think they'll be conceding 5 goals after the 52nd minute, that's for sure.
Oh my word, it's nervy as Malaysia just about get it clear, but they are nearly there. Get to half-time. Remember what Malaysia did to the UAE at the Bukit Jalil. They scored right on half-time. Can the UAE return the favour? Headed away quite brilliantly by the Malaysians. Mad Ninja, he's looking lively, isn't he? But Imran Dean, look at this. The lone striker tracking back to help out his team, and that might be enough, you know, to help them run the clock down to half-time. Not, though, with the pass in the second phase. The annoying referee, dressed the same, gets in the way.
He is annoying.
Is DBX. A look at the space he got on the left.
Oh,
But that was
good
great
play.
from Razhaks. That was great from Razhaks. And now Imran Dean. Well, even Imran Dean with his power of control. Ex-Bucky, that should get them to half-time. Surely no. UAE are swarming all over Malaysia. They don't get a minute's piece on the ball, but they still can't find the breakthrough. In truth, the bot keepers only had to make 1 save, Knitting, which, bearing in mind how much possession the UAE have had, is sensational in itself.
Agreed. Again, Malaysia are putting lots of men behind the ball, so you are going to get lots of blocks, lots of shots. Aren't going to make it to the goalkeeper, but again, it's been a very promising start here from the UAE in this half.
And that was intelligent football, kicking all the way down to the final third of the UAE. They only got One more play here if they want to score before half-time. Malaysia are 3/4 of the way there. Can they hang on for another 45 virtual minutes and become Triple Crown winners? The Pro Club Challenge, the C Nations Cup, and now the VPG Asian Club 2020. They're 45 minutes away from booking their ticket, Willy Wonka's golden ticket, to the VPG World Cup early next year, and Razhaks and Rybox together really dominating the midfield. I mean, at times Rybox is playing almost like a deep-lying centre-back, if there is such a thing.
I won't say Malaysia are dominating the midfield at all. I think UAE have dominated this half completely. I think the only part that Malaysia have dominated have been their penalty box.
That's what I'm saying. The midfielders, those two centre midfielders,
yes, they've all joined the defence.
They're winning the battle in the penalty box.
Yep.
They're winning a midfield battle in the penalty box. They've not got anyone in midfield in terms of the pitch to win that battle. They're just packing the penalty area and saying to the UAE, "You come at us time and time again.
Exactly.
We don't think you can score two."
And it's
and
working.
they're 45
it's working, to be fair.
virtual minutes away from being proved right. The tension here is really now unbearable. Second half, Malaysia in the yellow and black, left to right. They haven't got anywhere near the UAE goal of Oblak in that first half, and the UAE in the red right to left, and straight away that's going to be the tactic. Try and get the ball in the other half, because every time you get the ball in the UAE half, Nitin, it's going to eat away 3 or 4 virtual minutes.
And these virtual minutes tick on very, very fast. So yes, that will be Malaysia's goal game plan.
Remember, they went down to 10 men around about this time. They got about 52 virtual minutes in the game against Saudi Arabia in the semi-finals. The match and the tie were still level at 0-0 there. Mad Ninja gets it through to Khalid. Mad Ninja into the area. There's a man space on the far side. Great opportunity, and he's put it wide. Best chance of the second half, and they've skewed it wide. And how many more opportunities, Nitin, like that can they afford to pass up?
Yeah, great effort there from Ali Iraqi. Managed to beat his man, got his shot across the goalkeeper, just couldn't find the far post. But again, very encouraging signs for the UAE. In my opinion, they have to score by the 65th minute, and that will create enough nerves in the Malaysian backline for them to try and hopefully score
Mad
one more.
Ninja starts this move. They got a chance to get another shot away.
Oh,
what a save!
From the bot.
Oh, no, it is a bot. Yeah, what a
bot.
Fantastic save. Well, that's 2 saves the bot's made now. Oh, they really are flirting with danger here. You thought maybe a penalty shot there.
Maybe if in that first leg, if Malaysia got a penalty for that foul, that should have been a penalty for UAE as well.
Malaysia have very nearly navigated the first 10 minutes of the second 45.
UAE.
They might not navigate it much longer, deflected, and the bot does them a favour there by preventing the corner.
Yeah, 2 chances for UAE 007 there in this opening 10 minutes of the half. So again, promising signs for the UAE, but they have to make one of these chances count.
And the bot's helping them here, because he's taking his own sweet time with the clearance. I'm sure that would have been the case if poor old Abbey had been in goal. They've coped with the loss of their keeper now, Imran Dean. Very nearly managed to start putting Razhaks through the middle, but instead Malaysia will adopt this defensive formation. We're ticking round to that 65-minute mark, Nitin, that you said would be oh so crucial.
They have to score soon.
And they score now. 2 great chances they've had, a couple of great bot saves, and that's a heavy touch that should help Malaysia, but they're struggling to clear it. And look at the bodies, the yellow shirts, it's a wall of yellow. Bowler Malaysia, UAE are getting frustrated.
9 players in the box there, so if a shot is going to get past those 9 players, remember it's got to get past the 10 as well, the goalkeeper.
Oh, more space, twisting and turning. UAE on the edge. Oh, there's a man free. Can they get the shot away from the low angle? And they're going to have to make do with a corner.
My God, this is
Khalid
tense.
bin Namro again. First corner of the second half for the United Arab Emirates, who trail 2-0 in aggregate. 27 virtual minutes left to play, and the bot is having a blinder for Malaysia in goal.
Good ball.
Onside, Khalid,
oh,
and the
my
bot's
God.
done them again. It looked like it was going to be the easiest of nods in, but the bot keeper is playing a worldie, Nitin.
I thought that was a goal. All day long, I thought that was a goal.
Now we're
Fantastic
past the
stuff from
65-minute mark. Can Malaysia start getting the name etched on the VPG Asian Cup, Nitin?
I think you can start shading the M maybe on the cup. Maybe.
Oh, UAE, Rybox is in the middle again, and anywhere will do. But I tell you something, a neutral inside, we need to have to be
Yeah, I want a goal though. I want a goal from the UAE. I want it to get exciting.
A nervy final 15 minutes. Remember, a place in the VPG World Cup is up for grabs. Anywhere will do for Wee. Gets it up in the air and out for a throw. And another couple of minutes have passed by. We thought it might be low scoring, and so it's proved. Khalid, nice anticipation, easy game. And what superb defensive work as he puts his boot through the ball and gets it into UAE territory, and now they're into the final 20 minutes. And Malaysia, with all their class, organisation and quality, surely have got it in with them now to play this game out. And it's just a sense in the UAE's body language of play here, Nitin, that I don't think they believe anymore they can do this. It was there for the first hour, but I think they heard your words about the 65-minute mark, and I think the wind is out their sails.
No, I don't think they heard me. I do believe they're still playing like a side that believe they can get back into this game.
I'm not getting that vibe, Nitin. You're watching a different game. I think they might try and score, but I don't think they actually believe anymore. And you've got to believe in Pro Club. They can't get past this bot.
Oh my God, almost fell.
Nitin nearly fell off his chair, literally. That's how exciting this is.
Again, UAE 007 denied by the bot goalkeeper. I think if the goalkeeper had played, he may not have saved some of these saves that the bot is making, honestly.
No, the bots, they'll be giving him Malaysian citizenship after this, I should think.
Ooh.
Oh, still they can't make the breakthrough. And in real parlance, Nitin, the way the game flow's going, what's the absolute latest now they can score to have any chance? Can you still score in the 89th and get a goal?
Nah, I would say 85th. 85th!
Oh, again, this time!
Malaysia have
bodies blocking it.
Every man in the box.
Headed away. Mad Ninja. We're into the final 12 and a bit minutes here. Easy gamer who's giving it straight to the area.
Oh, what a
now
ball!
The goal, surely the bot's done it again. Well, I have not seen across all our Pro Club action a better bot performance than the bot that at the moment is helping Malaysia book their slot of the VPG World Cup finals. It's wave after wave of UAE attack. Can they beat the bot?
Oh, they've got it! Oh no, my God!
How on earth has he kept them out again?
I've literally seen it all.
He's like CP30 and R2D2 rolled into one, this guy. There's nothing he can't do. Mad Ninja.
My God, the goalkeeper has had a stunner here. Absolute superstar.
He's man of the match candidate. I thought Easy Gamer was the man of the match in the first leg, but the bot has literally taken everything that UAE has thrown at them and thrown it straight back at them, or straight back out to them bar a save. And now what is the keeper doing? Keeper's going on holiday. 5.5 minutes to play, and the bot is brilliant.
Yes.
Gathers it in the air. And I think we can safely say now that Malaysia are Triple Crown winners. Pro Club Challenge winners, courtesy.
Not quite yet, not quite yet.
C-Nations Cup winners, courtesy of Rybox's Malaysia. And now anything they do concede, surely they'll win. But the bot will not be beaten. Malaysia will not be denied. And the Harry Muda are about to become champions of Asia.
This is very disheartening for the UAE, but I have to say, you guys have performed stupendously here in the second leg. You've done everything that's required except score. Unfortunately, keepers had a blinder. Malaysians' defense and midfield have been superb defensively. And but again, full credit to the UAE for you know, they're still trying to get a goal here, and I can't do anything but admire that.
Well, anything they get now would only be a consolation, and you'd feel sorry for the bot if he conceded now after all the good work he's done.
Nah, no feelings for the bot.
Oh, look at this, the keeper's out inside the opposition half now, but it will count for nothing. The next time Malaysia kick the ball away,
not yet.
It will be the final whistle, and Malaysia as VPG 2020 Asia champions. Can the UAE stand up for the goal? No, they can't.
Blocked
and
again.
away it goes. And the
Well done,
celebrations
Malaysia.
to Malin, all across Malaysia. Malaysia unites as yet another trophy goes the way of that star man who tactically once more got it spot on with a little help from his robotic friends. The pot was brilliant in goal. UAE huffed and they puffed, but they couldn't blow the pot down. And Malaysia are champions, Nitin, and those stats are incredible.
It is, oh, look at that. 14 shots, 7 on target. Of those 7, I have to say at least 5 should have been goals maybe, and the goalkeeper has definitely kept them in this. Not just the goalkeeper, every one of those Malaysian players came into the match wanting not to concede. They've thrown their body on the line, you know, blocking shots. So it's been a fantastic defensive performance from Malaysia, a great attacking performance from UAE, but again, all that was missing were the goals.
The bots, I mean, again, talk for people that aren't au fait with Pro Club. You're obviously going to get a bot that's of a similar rating to the player that he's replacing, if you like, who's been disconnected. But with all due respect to Abby, I think as you mentioned in commentary, even Abby probably could have...
he may not have made all those saves, I feel at least. And I'm not sure if, you know, if Abi had connected to the game and he got disconnected then that would have been Abi's goalkeeper with Abi's stats. So that may have played a part in terms of why the goalkeeper was so good. But if Abi got disconnected before they got into the game, then you're definitely looking at a bot goalkeeper who played out of his skin.
Let's confirm the news that we
Terminator.
already know. Malaysia are champions of the VPG Asian Cup
Well done,
2020,
Malaysia.
beating the UAE 2-0 on aggregate. Look at the teams they've beaten to get here in the knockout stages. Battered Brunei, got past the Saudis, and now have not conceded in 180 minutes against a very strong and sharp UAE team who had everything in their favour in the second leg, but they just couldn't get the breakthrough. Congratulations.